Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new PlayNow today with a game called Frostpunk. This is a game that was released, well, from my point of view today, on the 24th of April. It's on Steam, available right now for the price of 30 euros. Well, it's on sale, it's 27 euros. There's a 10% discount right at the moment of sale for a week, I think. It's a game made by 11-bit Studios, a studio that you may know from This World of Mine, which was an excellent game about making hard choices and living with them. This is sort of in the same vein of idea, but it is not well, it is a resource management game, but it's not framed in the same way as This World of Mine. This is framed more as a city builder. It reminds me tiny bit of Banished, because that also featured the winter being a very unpleasant place to be in. And you're going to be in the winter basically non-stop. The game ships with 3 scenarios. This is the first one you have, a new home. This is the main story of the game, if you will. It then also has 2 other scenarios that are unlocked 20 days if you reach the 20-day mark of each of the previous ones. For example, if I got to day 20 here, I unlock the arcs. If I got to day 20 at the arcs, I would unlock this. First, I'm going to show you the arcs, because it's important to note that the game does have different maps. You can also customize the scenarios if you want to. For example, you can set the difficulty be it either general or individual for each kind of thing you want. Let's set it to easy, because I just want to show you a bit of this scenario, and then I'm going to go to the save I already made last time. And I'm hoping it's still recording, because it's sort of frozen the loading. No, it's still rolling, okay. One reason for choosing the Arctic was, okay, damn it, I didn't get to see it. It actually showed the reason for why they chose the Arctic as their refuge, because it's so, the eruption of Mount Krakatoa, causes the mineral dose, okay. So the charcoal kilns, yeah, the winter was caused by Mount Krakatoa, basically. So the seedling arcs. If you're not familiar with what an arc the seedling arcs, there's a seed vault, or I actually think there are several seed vaults around the world near the Arctic where it's cold enough for them to not become putrid. Though in this game it actually says that if temperatures go below chilly, these seeds will die, which I'm not sure about it. So I think if the temperature goes too high, they have problems because they start sprouting. But cold should actually be okay. So when you start a game, well, not this is a special case, but when you start a game, you will be in the middle of this. See, this is a giant reactor. Well, it's a reactor. It's a furnace, basically. It's a giant furnace, a generator that will generate energy at the cost of fuel being coal. This game is set in a sort of a steampunk version of the 1900s, the early 1900s, so they didn't have other things to power furnaces other than coal. You also see little people down there. I'm actually sad that you can't zoom in farther, because they're very nicely done. Like, at least from this level, they appear to be very nicely done, and they move very nicely. Like, you'll see them make paths in actually, I'm going to show it to you now. They'll make paths in the snow to get to places. Like, look at them. And there's this giant automaton. They are not easily obtainable in the main mission, in the main campaign. Here we start with a bunch of them. The idea is that you were supposed to actually get this to run autonomously with the automatons. Now, you may see them go there to get the code that I need for the furnace, but you're also seeing that my indicator here that shows how much coal I have is actually increasing before they get there. The people, sadly, are just cosmetic. There's no walker system. There's just range-based building attributes. There's no walker system, so they're just there for show. Sadly, they don't do anything. Oh, and also have events. Okay, so we have to keep temperatures above chilly. And how do I know what temperature is there? I press this button here, and voila! It shows me that the seedling banks are now livable. Very low risk of getting ill, if there are people in there, I mean. Contains the seeds around the globe, keep them at least chilly, or the seeds will start to freeze beyond recovery. I should have studied up on this, but if seeds do get frozen, are they permanently destroyed? Yeah, a a living, like an actual fruit, yeah, that's going to be destroyed. A plant that's sprouted, yeah. But the seed, I don't know, I kind of feel like the seeds are a bit more resilient since they have a shell that's kind of really impenetrable up to a point, depending on the seed. But I don't know. Again, I'm not an expert. I trust the developers to have done their homework on this. So let's fire this up. And bam. As you may see here, there's also something called a range. Like, by default, you will only heat up the things in the first rings. So everything that's like here, where I'm going to now build some tents for the people to sleep in. Only these will be heated. And we're out of wood. I should get more wood. Only, oh, I don't have a road there, really? Okay, I would build a road, but I don't have any wood. I have to get wood from here. You'll find discarded piles of stuff around here and there. And when you run out of these, you'll have to build things like sawmills to gather wood from the frozen forests. You then have iron deposits for steel. You have coal deposits, and you can also drill into the actual cliff face, because this is a submerged type of affair thing that's is basically built around the glacier that swallowed up a forest. And you'll find more wood in there. We don't have actually any people getting the wood now. So probably turn up the speed. Yeah, they're getting some wood, so I'm gonna build the roads. Come on. Yeah. Oh, I built it wrong. I built it wrong. My bad. Should not have built it there. Actually, I think I actually built these too far away because, I built them totally wrong. This is the inner circle. I sort of got confused because there's the heat generated by this thing pushed the snow away, and when you build things that generate heat, you'll push the snow away quite far. I got confused a bit there. Sorry, my bad. You also have a book of laws that lets you. You don't have just buildings to help you, resist the frost. You also have a book of laws that will let you enact certain laws. Currently, this isn't the complete one. There's more of them in the full version, which I'm going to get to. But you can dictate things like food additives. We can add sawdust to meal to make them more filling, although not exactly tasty or healthy. Which, yeah, that's bad. But then you have soup, and people will complain. They'll lose hope because they're going to eat soup. Eating soup will cause discontent. I think that's kind of a strange thing. Okay, I'll provide more shelter. That's an event that can happen and people rest for things. I think that's the thing with the soup is kind of strange to me because this is the apocalypse. People like apocalypse. I didn't have the right to complain about soup when I didn't have something else to eat. Why are these people complaining about the apocalypse? Having as one of the things they have to do is eating soup. It just raises too many questions. Honestly, it's kind of it's one of the things the game does that kind of baffle me. Though, for the most part, I like the game. I like the idea of a city builder that's also a survival game where you have to carefully manage resources in order to actually make it to the next day. And by the way, you do have a set number of days. You have 45 days. Well, technically, you have 42 days, and then you better have prepared because what's next is Doom. And I have finished the game once, and I'll talk about that soon. But as you can see, through the period of time that it passes, temperatures will drop like by 10 degrees each time, and they will rise, and you'll have to get your generator to pump out more heat in a larger area, so this ring will expand. You can overdrive it so it will generate more heat in the areas it covers. See, like this. I currently don't have research unlocked because I have to build one of these things, but I'm going to show them to you in the other mode. Thank you. Yeah, I got them to, I gave them houses. Yeah, that's, this is one of the modes that you can play, one of the scenarios that you can play, and there's one extra scenario that I haven't unlocked yet, and I have no idea what exactly that thing is about. Something about refugees, I believe, but it's different than the other one, and that's an important bit to note, because the main story never changes. And I mean, what I mean to say by never changes is that the map layout will never change. And I'm going to resume from... actually, just load the PlayNow save. One that I kept just for this event. As you've seen in the previous map, there were certain stockpiles of resources scattered about that I could use at any time. And there's also the same kind of resources scattered about. Let's see, this coal pile. This is one of the few coal piles that I still have left. This one's being tended to already. And there were a couple of them around here, 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 and here. These will always... I actually don't need these because I have enough wood. These will always spawn in the exact same place every time. And all the events that take place throughout the game will always be the exact same at the exact times. There's never any variation. Never. So, the main campaign is a solvable equation. It is easily solvable. You can probably, right now, because the game has been out for people that have made previews of it, I actually got a preview copy of it, but all the saves I had in the preview version are incompatible with this one, so they were just deleted by the game when it updated to the current version. Because people have played it in that version, there's probably already guides out there that show you the exact layout your city needs to have and the build order that you need to have maximum maximum output of all your buildings and just how to succeed. And that's a problem, because this is supposed to be a city building survival game. But if you don't have any sort of randomness to it, it'll always be the exact same thing. And that can really takes out some of the enjoyment out of it. The only difference, honestly, that you have is, well, in the Book of Laws, I'm going to unlock something, like in the next couple of minutes here, I'm going to unlock something, but I'm going to show you the full version. You had here the option of enabling child labor, which lets kids do things like collect the resources or build a child shelter. I built a child shelter. If I had enacted child labor, I could have then went to child labor all jobs and sent kids to jobs that would potentially kill them. But instead, I gave them shelter. And then I gave them jobs. The game at the end complained that I put kids to work. I'm curious if it'll complain again, because this actually raised... No, I didn't raise... well, this one raised hope. But I still sent kids to work. I'm curious if at the end the game will still complain that I sent kids to work through this path. If it doesn't, it's gonna be a bit hypocritical, because at the end the game sort of goes off the loopy end with the high road moralistic attitude towards you, the player. Because here's the thing that again, I'm repeating, this is 40 days. And I sent kids, when I first won the game, to collect stuff like for 1, maybe 2 days. The game at the end told me I was basically Mussolini, I was Stalin, I was Hitler for sending kids to work. I worked as a kid. My brother worked on fields with my grandparents as a kid. I was too sick to go to the field and work on the field all day, doing agriculture, manual labor. So I spared that. But that's how things are, and we weren't in an apocalypse then. This is an apocalypse. You send kids to gather coal, otherwise everyone will die. The game doesn't seem to understand nuance, and I'm gonna get to how it does understand nuance quite soon, like in a couple of seconds. I'm gonna show you the overworld map too as well. So after a point when you actually I'm gonna have to go back here to show you the balloon. When you build this beacon, this giant balloon, you will unlock this. This is the world map. And you can build a scout forces, scouts basically, and send them out throughout the world. And they will explore these places. And they will find stuff here. For example, here I found some scientists. They predicted that a great cold is coming and will get much worse. I found this bridge which was kind of not really doing that well. And now I'm heading to where we know another settlement to be. Also, there's one more settlement around here called Tesla, which if you send people there, they're gonna die. This is a coal mine that I can actually get up and running and transform into an actual coal mine. And this was where the bulk of our convoy was, and I think, no. Where was our convoy? Oh yeah, this is the Lost Expedition. This is where the first thing I sent out went, to recover some of the people that were lost in our expedition. This is a crash site. And all these things will always give the same result when you're scouting them out. That will never change. This is a tutorial, by the way, here. You will have people getting amputated because, you know, they will die otherwise. And you can build, you can construct, I don't have it unlocked yet, but I can unlock it soon. You have prosthetics. I should have to make a law for them first and then build prosthetics. You can also upgrade stuff here. More scouts, for example. A steam hub, this will let you increase the range of the, maybe I should build it now. Do I have enough? Yeah, I have enough. I'm gonna build this here. Maybe, yeah, here. No, not there. I'm gonna need to build this up here first. Yeah. Then I'm gonna build this steam hub here. Because I'm gonna expand my buildings here without actually increasing the range of this. It's at range 2 already, the range of the generator. So once I do that, I'll be able to generate heat from here like it is here. See? But without increasing the, without doubling basically the, well, increasing by some percentage the fuel consumption of the generator. Just this one. This one will consume a fuel and some will consume less than if I were to have expanded this entire ring. Actually, no, this is a bad idea, not this one. I should not build it here. I should build it like here because these guys don't have heat. Yeah, things would be a better place to build them. I kind of forgot where I was, but yeah, this is what you do for most of the game. I've never managed to explore the whole thing. I know there is some parts here that I never got to explore because something's gonna happen on day 40. I explored up until this area. There may be a lot more. Like the map seems to be huge, and I don't know how many of the map actually has events tied to it and places to discover. But yeah, there is going to have the same result. So let's enter play now. Don't have any steel left. Almost no steel left. Can I? Yeah, let's collect that steel. What we have already. This is my sawmill. Oh, it's being controlled by this automaton. Can you get automatons to work at your factories? And the automatons have the advantage of always working, but at a lower efficiency. So this guy has a 60% efficiency. Currently, I can research it to increase efficiency, but it'll work non-stop. Whereas human beings, they have a schedule from well, 10 hours, just 10 hours. Really, it's the goddamn apocalypse, people. But you can get them to work more. You can implement emergency shifts that will let them work for 24 hours. And only then can you actually implement extended shifts, which is a 12-hour work shift. Now again, I live in Romania. We have 12-hour work shifts when it's not the apocalypse. So I think the game is being a bit too lenient with what the people have to do to survive. And then it calls me out for being a fascist because I try to get them to do things. And I don't really enjoy being called a fascist for any reason. Also research stuff like I said, but I don't have any more... Actually, I think I could research, yeah, hunters. You need hunters to go out and get food, but further down the line you can get... Well, I could actually get now some hothouses. These are greenhouses, basically. And I can get them to be industrial too. So, yeah, I can also upgrade the tents to bunkhouses, which will increase heat. They will keep heat in and will not require as much heating, like heating power from this thing. They'll be more resilient. But they will always only take up 10 people. So the village will expand, your town will expand constantly, and I believe we're at the point where something happens. So regardless if I had sent someone there to that city or not, this would have happened. This is where the game tries to, I think the expression is bumfuck you. So let's try it. This is where winter home should have been. The streets of the ruined city are littered with scores of dead bodies. The city chronicles describes a shortage of food and citizens increasing despair, and following squabbles, riot, and descent into anarchy. Fights for dwindling resources and the eventual starvation. The last entry, God forgive us, we're eating our dead. There is no hope. And I discovered some new places that I can explore now. And the game should probably go nuts soon, but I'm going to explain the eating the dead part. You see, in your book of laws, you have the option of making a cemetery, which is what I did, or you could have made just a pile of dead bodies somewhere in the snow far away where they won't thaw out, and you could use those people then for organ transplants later on to get the people that are sick to, you know, get better. But this does come with this would have come with a big penalty to hope, and I believe some discontent too. Hope is basically what you need for the people to not lose their minds and start committing suicide and stuff. Discontent, riots, basically. They're actually, well, under normal circumstances, it's not difficult to keep these in check. All you have to do is provide them with the basic necessities, which gets, it gets incredibly difficult near the end, but for the most part you can do it. But then the game does this to you. We are alone. The news has shocked everyone in the city. There were supposed to be many settlements and construction crews here, people living normal lives in homes, be heated by generators, but we are alone. And bam! A fourth of the way through the game, and the game just hits you first time over the face. Look at the hope. Look at the hope. It's gonna drop, bam, it just dropped to almost nothing. And mind you, it doesn't matter how much hope you started with, it was always gonna drop to this point. The game, well, this campaign at least, this mission, the main mission, isn't so much of a survival game in the sense that it matters how well you do, because at predefined moments the game will just take away everything you've done. And that's kind of annoying. Especially because now I have to give the people purpose so they will not lose hope. They're all dead. How will we survive? We have to get back to London. There's no hope for us in this frozen waste because we're near London. Well, we were. We went to the Arctic, like I said, but I didn't read a bit to explain why we're at the Arctic. I don't know. People start to gather. The news of the fate of Wittenham spreads through the city. Some of them want to drop everything and flee. Panic is starting to set in. I must give people hope. And now comes the part where the game sort of attempts to make you question what you do. You have two choices. I can try to impose order and discipline, or I can go the fate and spiritual strength route. When I first won the game, I went to order, and then I tried some fate bit, but I didn't get that far into it. I'm gonna go with order again because I know this path. I know where it leads to, and I know what the game actually thinks it leads to. So I'm going to choose this. First thing I'm going to implement is a neighborhood watch. A neighborhood watch will increase the hope of people living nearby. We need to mobilize and stand together to help people in need and protect them from troublemakers, because there will be. Now you may think to yourself, okay, this sounds like the beginnings of a fascist movement. Yeah, you're right. Somewhere down here, you'll have New Order that's basically, well, you have somewhere here and here you'll have executions and pledge of obedience and prisons with killing people in them and converting them via beatings. And here you will have I am the new emperor, bow down before me and I won't kill you. I didn't get there. I stopped here. I stopped around guard stations and morning gatherings to get people to, you know, hey. And over here you have a propaganda center. The propaganda just raises hope, but it doesn't say our leader is best leader. There is no other leader. you must kill everybody who's not leader or something like that. No, it's don't lose hope. You're not gonna die. And they didn't, but the game seemed to think that choosing any one of these makes me a fascist, and at the end it said that the city wasn't worth saving because of the things I did. Now, if the game took part over 40 months, and it was 40 months of me having guards at every corner, of propaganda non-stop, of me executing people, of me throwing people in prison, of me putting kids to work non-stop for 40 months. Yeah, absolutely. But for 40 days, it's the soup thing. If you're gonna complain because you're gonna eat soup for 40 days, screw you. I ate nothing for almost a month. Once. Nothing. Because I was almost dead. Soup is what most people eat all their lives because they have nothing else and they're not living in an apocalypse. This is an apocalypse and people will complain about that. The game has really awkward messaging. It wants to say something. It wants you to think about what you're doing. But then it goes out and it preaches at you that what you're doing isn't wrong, even though it's not actually wrong. It's just having trouble interpreting what you're doing. Because guess what? We're gonna have some bona fide terrorists in the city right now. Let's cut off this guy's leg so he won't die. And have to build amputee station soon. And you're gonna see in a couple of seconds, see, people are protesting, people are not happy. You're gonna see a faction forming up of Londoners that want to go back to London. This will always happen. And if you don't get hope back up, a lot of them will leave. And by the time they leave, they will just stir stuff up. They will steal resources. They will murder people. They will cause riots. They will cause revolts. They will just terrorize the city and disrupt it. And I'm the fascist for trying to stop them. I'm the one that abused order for having cops on the street. See? The unconvinced want to leave. And they're gonna form a faction called the Londoners. And this was always gonna happen. You cannot change this. This was always gonna happen either when you discovered the city that was destroyed because the thing blew up, or I think 15 days passed and one of the last survivor managed to get to the edge of the crater and died there, and before he died he told us what happened. By the way, this thing can explode. If you set it to overdrive to increase the heat level, which you will need to sometimes, and you get to the top, the first time you get there it will malfunction. You have two options. Waste one of these cores, which is a steam core. It is not a resource that you can build. You have to find it in the world to repair it, or send in a child. And a child, like in Snowpiercer, the child will probably die. And you can only do that once. If it goes up to 100% again, everybody's gonna die. It'll explode. The survivors will be frozen to death in a couple of seconds. It's gonna be a mess. But we also have other things we can do in this world, in the Overworld Map. I mean, apart from visiting places, you can build outposts. I haven't researched them yet, but you can build outposts here, and I believe in the coal mine, and somewhere up here we can actually get steam cores in Tesla Town. If you build an outpost there, and they will generate a resource at a set number of days. I think this is where 150 wood per day, which is actually quite nice, quite good. But also takes time to deliver them. So it is, let's send these guys here to the snow cliffs. Let's go back to town. Now, to counteract the Londoners, I have to get hope back up. And to get hope back up, I have to build, where's my, I now have the order tech tree, the order build queue. I have to build these things as close to, well, streets for one. I don't have a street there. I like the hub style, the circle style hub mechanic of building stuff. It is very nice. And I'm out of steel. God damn steel. Didn't I research I'm researching 100 gear. I need to research a steelworks actually. But I'm gonna be out of food too. Gonna board this. I need steel more than I need food right now. Because I don't have a large amount of food, but it's manageable at this point. Also, I have people wounded, sick because of the temperature, I believe, or something. Let's get this up and running. See? This increased. And let's fast forward through this narrating. Hopefully get... this is still collecting steel. Yeah, I'm gonna put some engineers... Oh, by the way, I didn't mention this. You have, well, now 5 types of population. You have the workers. They can work in pretty much any place that doesn't require really complicated stuff like medicine or research or engineering, basically. Before that, you have the engineers. Then you have the automatons, which you can build. Once you have a factory, you can find one of them, like you found the first one. The automatons will work non-stop. They won't work well unless you upgrade them, and at one time they can actually get upgraded to work as doctors. Then you have the prohibited classes, which is kids, because I did not enable child labor, and amputees, because I don't have prosthetics yet. Amputees cannot work. Amputees will sometimes kill themselves if you don't... You have more people join the Londoners, and if I don't raise hope and reverse this thing, this arrow, a lot of people will leave and take a bunch of resources, and things will be bad. Things will be very bad. So let's fast forward more. Should probably get more coal as well. Okay, we'll reach the snow cliffs. Take resources. Okay, freshwater spring. Let's go there. Fast forward some more. Reach observatory, coal pile depleted. Okay, we are out of coal there. It's okay, we still have coal in that place. And you can build mines for coal and mines for steel, iron there. And wood crates, some fuel left over. You can also build the drills that will, actually haven't researched them. There's drills, yeah, the coal thumper. The coal thumper will basically get, oh, that still works. The coal thumper will get steel out of the ground, not get steel, get coal out of the ground, and then you can gather it normally, like you would with the resource, with the crates, with the resources that were already on the surface. You can actually build a, what was that thing? A gathering post that will, people will gather resources that are within their, actually that's not gathering post. This one is, they will gather resources within their area. So it's good to have a bunch of resource extraction areas around this place, because this one also it has the advantage over just sending people to collect like from here, that the it also has some heating to it. You can build heaters in it. Okay, steelworks research. Let's build the steelworks. And we can build it here. Actually, let's build 2 of them because we may need them. And build this here. And build this here. I messed it up. I messed it up. Okay, let's build it there. 2 steel mills, which is good. And we have an event. Timely intervention. Sir, a child climbed the generator, slipped and fell, but thankfully caught by neighborhood watch. And that's why I'm a fascist, because I didn't kill the kid. According to the game, at the end, I will be a fascist. That's what the game says. Could have been because I put the kids to work for a couple of days, because we needed coal or we would have died. It's kind of annoying when games do this. Okay, if you find survivors, you can send them to the city, but they'll probably die, so you can go with them. But if you go with them, then, and you don't have enough scouts, like out here, you can have a maximum of 3, you may not actually have the time to explore the entire map, because again, it takes quite a while to go around the place. Unless you made some upgrades. And they will escort survivors. Okay, let's get these guys too. I think there are more survivors there, Frozen Grove. Yeah, in the Shard Cave there's some kids. There's always kids there that they have to get them manually back home. Yeah, this is the basics of the game. You have to build your resources up. Your production needs to be like at full power, and already have been at full power for quite a while when you reach day 40, because after day 40 you can't get food anymore. You will have very, very limited abilities to explore their surrounding spaces, basically not at all, and you'll have to bunker down and hope for the best. Otherwise, you're gonna die. You're gonna lose. I guess that was it for the play now of Frostpunk. It's I'm conflicted a bit because I like the idea, I like the concept, but the main story has no variation to it, and there's only 2 other scenarios in it. Only 2 scenarios, and it's a €30 game. It's not cheap. There will be more scenarios. I hope not all of them are just DLC, like that you have to buy. That some of them are free, or the best thing possible would be for the game to get mod support. If the game will have mod support and people can make their own scenarios and tweak the game and make it less inclined to call you a fascist for dragging people frozen near half dead, bringing them to your place, to your city, and giving them food and healing them and tending to them, making sure that not one of them starved, not one of them froze. That makes you Hitler according to the game. The game just flat out told me that at the end, maybe the city wasn't worth saving. Maybe humanity wasn't worth saving if we have to do things like eat soup. Gasp! I thought it was a bug at first, that maybe the game had a bug in the preview version, but then I asked on the Steam discussion thread if that was what the game was supposed to do. And one of the devs basically told me, yeah, it depends on your interpretation of what propaganda is, because if you think it's just that spreading lies, or if it's always about manipulating the perspective on the world. So the game will always call you a fascist if you save people, not actually be a fascist. Yeah, it ends on kind of a downer if you win. I wonder what it calls you if you go the religion path. I haven't been able to finish the game on that path. Also, I'm running out of coal because I set this save up to just showcase things, not necessarily be an optimal playthrough. But I did get a lot of wood. A lot of wood. I'm gonna see you again soon to new play now, hopefully, but I don't think so, of Battletech, because I don't have a review copy of it, and it was launched today and nobody at Paradox has answered. I think they forgot about me. But to be fair, I haven't contacted them in some time. I used to be really tight with Paradox back in the day. Really, really tight. But then, things happen. I wasn't into doing shows about games for a while. I don't know, is it a slow approach? Who knows? We'll see. Maybe we'll have Battletech. Goodbye.